few things of June 24 we will see, and then we will go back to our regular class. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there are MCQ types questions, and section B is starting from question number 2. So we will discuss that MCQ type separately, and if you see this questions are from section B. See, it is from e-way bill, and one is the returns. From returns chapter, it is related to QRMP scheme. So quarterly return, monthly payment. So please read that few points. So what is the threshold limit if you want to opt for QRMP scheme, and what is the due date for the GST return filing, and who are all eligible to opt for QRMP scheme. So some simple basics things, just have a look. So if these types of question comes, you can definitely attend it. So it is QRMP scheme, and one more is e-way bill. So in e-way bill, one point we missed in yesterday's class, that is what is the relaxation in the latest one. So we will see what the question of the 2A, that e-way bill related. So the e-way bill generation facility to be blocked in respect of outward as well as inward movement of goods for defaulting registered person. Comment on the validity of the above statement with respect to with reference to GST or CGST rules 2017. So the question here is, the e-way bill generation facility, it has blocked in respect of outward as well as inward movements. Actually, some 2-3 years back, there was a option like if your GST number is suspended, you will not be able to generate e-way bill, or your customer will not be able to generate e-way bill. See this simple point, you will get an idea. ABC Limited, say for example, this ABC Limited is my company, and I have not filed GST-R1 for 2 months. So that is statement of outward supplies, I have not submitted for 2 months. So what will happen? My GST-IN, identification network, it will get suspended. Then I will not be able to generate e-way bill. What will happen? I will manufacture, I will do my production, and goods are ready to deliver it to customers, but I generate my invoice from my system, but the problem is I may not be able to generate e-way bill. So previously how the situation was, even I may not be able to generate, and my end customer also may not be able to generate the e-way bill. Now there is a relaxation in this rule, means my customer can able to generate e-way bill. So if I tell my customer your goods are ready for delivery, so he will, my GST number is suspended or blocked, he can raise the e-way bill and start moving the goods from my factory premises. So the question here is, e-way bill generation facility blocked in respect of outward as well as inward movement of goods. Means it is blocked only for outward and not inward. Inward means my customer can able to generate e-way bill. So the answer here is e-way bill generation facility block only the outward supply. So here how we need to present in the examination time. So the statement is not fully correct. E-way bill generation facility block only in respect of outward movement of goods by the defaulting registered person. So if you see this one, so ABC is my company, so only the GST number is blocked only for this ABC Limited. So the e-way bill generation facility blocked only in respect of outward movement of goods by the defaulting registered person. So which is rule 138E pertaining to blocking of e-way bill generation facility. So that is, it will disable the generation of e-way bill. So earlier user was not able to generate e-way bill for GST-IN if the said GST-IN became ineligible for e-way bill generation. So earlier means what? Either myself, I may not be able to generate, even my customer not able to generate e-way bill. But now we have that relax in the rule. It implies that GSTN of such blocked taxpayers could not be used to generate the e-way bills either as a supplier or as a recipient. Said rule amended to relax such restriction. So this point yesterday missed, sorry. So we needed to write it correctly. So that's why when I checked what are the different questions which has come from the e-way bill, I got this. So want to share immediately. Henceforth, blocking of GST-IN for e-way bill in respect of any outward movements. So what will happen in this month, whatever invoice I generate, so if my GST number is blocked, only I am not able to generate e-way bill, but my customer able to generate the e-way bill. Henceforth, blocking of GST-IN for e-way bill only in respect of any outward movement of goods of the who is ineligible for e-way bill generation. So e-way bills can be generated in respect of inward supplies, meaning is my customer wants to inward the goods, so it can be generated in respect of inward supplies received by said registered person. So there is some different meaning is there for the inward as well as outward movement of goods for defaulting registered person. So after this class we'll share, please have a look again this particular point. Yes. Hi Rakesh, good evening. We just started our class. This is related to we were discussing June 24 before we move on our regular topics. So in June 24 There are MCQ types 15s are there that I will share. Then in section B we have multiple, the 7 mark questions are there. So in that there is a question from e-way bill and from QRMP scheme. So we know it that GST returns, it is from the topic GST returns, and this one is from e-way bill. So this e-way bill, yesterday what we have discussed is both side it is e-way bill generation not possible, but just to have a clear on that particular topic we were discussing the same. So this e-way bill generation facility to be blocked in respect of outward as well as inward movement of goods for defaulting registered person. Comment on the validity of the above statement with reference of CGST rules 2017. This is the question. So before I move on to this how to present, just want to share what exactly the question and with an example. So see this example, ABC Limited, which is, say for example, this ABC Private Limited is my company. So what happens? Either our GST number will get blocked if I don't file GSTR1 for 2 months and not filed return for 2 consecutive tax periods. So these 2 things you need to remember. So what happened in this given example, what I have mentioned is I did not file GSTR1 for 2 months. So what happens? My GSTIN identification network, my GST number is blocked. So what, because of that, what is the impact? I will not be able to generate the e-way bill. Say I received order from customer and the production has happened and the goods are ready to be delivered to my customer. But because of non-compliance, I am not able to generate the e-way bill. So invoice, but that is my local software, so I raised the invoice. But e-way bill I will not be able to generate because of this compliance issues, that is GSTR1 not generated. But there is a relaxation in the rule, meaning is my customer can generate the e-way bill. So how he will generate? He can log in into the site. I can give my invoice number, date, what is the quantity and what is the price. All those details I am able to share with my customer. Based on that, customer can generate e-way bill and I can able to ship the material to my customer. Though I don't have an option to generate e-way bill. So this is the simple example I am giving for this statement. So e-way bill generation facility block in respect of outward as well as inward movement of goods, meaning is either if you want to do shipment, that is if you want to outward supply, you will not be able to generate, and if your customer wants to inward, so customer also not able to generate e-way bill. This is the statement they have given in the question and we want to comment on it. So how we need to present. So in this example you got idea what is outward supply and the inward. So my end customer who is going to receive the material has to that is who is going to do the inward movement, he is able to generate the e-way bill. So this is the point. Now we can see here how we have to present in the exam. So how we need to write? The statement is not fully correct, because not fully correct means what? You will not be able to generate the e-way bill, but your customer can generate the e-way bill. So the statement is not fully correct. E-way bill generation facility block only in respect of outward movement. Suppose if you are facing tomorrow this compliance issue, you only will not be able to generate the e-way bill. E-way bill generation facility block only in respect of outward movement of goods by the defaulting registered person. It is which is under rule 138E. That is, they from in the site they will disable the generation of e-way bill. So the earlier situation is different. Either this company, even I will not be able to generate, my customer also may not be able to generate. Earlier the scenario is different. Earlier user was not able to generate if the said GSTIN became ineligible. So it was blocked. The taxpayers could not be able to generate the e-way bills, either supplier or the recipient. Now the said rule amended. So yesterday this was missed, so I just want to repeat. Said rule amended to relax such restrictions. So the blocking of GSTIN for e-way bill generation facility is only in respect of outward movement of goods. So the blocking restricted only for the outward movement of the registered person who is ineligible for the e-way bill generation. It can be generated in respect of inward supplies received by said registered person. That means my customer, he can generate the e-way bill. So definitely same or some different questions from chapter e-way bill or from GST returns. So please have a look on these two topics. So QRMP scheme, quarterly return, monthly payment. So we need to remember about the threshold limit and who is liable, who eligible to opt for the QRMP scheme, that we need to mention. And what is the due date? And in the due date there are two different things are there, like for few states it is 22nd of the quarter, and for few it is 24th, that you can mention some few states. So there are we can have a look on the some two questions because it's related to exemptions. So see this question, it is the third one. You can see the question is big, like so many points like fees, interest, professional services, these, and here also they have given. But if you see the answer, it is will be the presentation, if you are seeing is only it comes in a half page. The thing we need to understand here is we will see this problem, so you will get know how to present it. Mrs. PNR, a proprietary concern registered under the normal provisions of GST in the state of Kerala, engaged in providing various services. The concern provides following information pertaining to supplies, the made or input services availed during the month of March 24. So from this question, what we need to find? Assess the GST liability of Mrs. P&R with the necessary explanations for the treatment of each item. The rate of tax, if you see that both inward and outward is applied 9%, except service of renting a vehicle, CGST, SGST 2.5%. All the supplies intra-state sale. So that means when you are making the column, just may do only for CGST and SGST. Whatever amounts here given are exclusive of GST. So now how we need to apply our exempted conditions here in this problem. So amount collected for loading, unloading, packing and warehousing of potato chips. So first one is related to agricultural related. So we need to go back to our exempted services. So before that I'll show you you can refer closed it or no? So you when you start preparing, you can refer our intermaterial. This is 92. If you want to see, it is page number 84. It is very good when you are start referring studying the exempted services. So if you see, our first question here is related to loading, unloading, packing, warehousing of potato chips. So it is related to agriculture. So agriculture related, where you can see is entry number 54, 55 are related to the agricultural activities. So in that agricultural activities, what are the activities which are exempted from GST and activities which are taxable? That needs to understand from that entry number 54. So whenever we say exempted services, remember those are the notification number is there, which is 12/2004. So that notification number you always remember it. So here we are referring into entry number 54. In that entry number 54, it is services relating to cultivation of plants and the rearing of all life forms of animals except rearing of horses for food, fiber, fuel. These points are there. So where I will move is, so these are entry number 54. You can have a look what are the related to agricultural activities. So we have supply of farm labor. These are all exempted from GST. So now what we are seeing is that potatoes related. The following process outside the purview of this entry and it is liable to GST. So which process which alters the essential characteristics of the agricultural produce. So if you are giving the service of loading, unloading, packing and warehousing of potato, then it is an exempted, but you are altering it to potato chips. So in that case it is not an exempted from GST. So what it is given? For potato chips or tomato ketchup etc. are manufactured through processes which alter the essential characteristic of farm produce, like potatoes and the tomatoes. So that means it is outside the purview and are liable to GST. So here what happens? The potato chips it is. So the amount here is 15,000. So on 15,000 we know it CGST, SGST 9%. So it is taxable. So we have mentioned it. Now second case, fees paid for yoga camp conducted by charitable trust registered under section 12AA of the Income Tax Act 1961 for employees of the firm. So now we'll see for the second case, services provided by charitable or the religious trust. So this is the first one. So you can see I have given this page number. It is so huge. I here mentioned only for the yoga related. So what is exempted from GST? The residential programs or camps meant for advancement of religion, spirituality or yoga, then it is exempted from GST. That yoga related, if we want to see in detail, like the services provided by entity registered under section 12AA or 12AB by way of advancement of religion, spirituality or yoga are exempt. The fee or consideration charged in any other form from the participants for participating in a religious yoga or meditation program, it is also exempted. So you can see that fees or consideration in any other form if you are collecting, still it is an exempted one. Residential programs or cost fee charged including cost of lodging and boarding exempt as long as the primary and predominant activity such residential programs or camps is advancement of religion, spirituality or yoga. If charitable or religious trust provide accommodation, serve food and drinks against consideration in any form, then it will be taxable. So now in our particular case is what? It is related to the fees paid conducted by the charitable trust. So it is an exempted service. So the next, this is entry number 1. So next one is interest received. I have not mentioned. Suppose if we remember the numbers, entry number 54, entry number 1, you can mention. Else mention the remarks, it is an exempted service. Now this interest received on fixed deposits from nationalized bank. So nationalized bank where you can see is entry number 27. Services by way of extending deposits, loans, advances, consideration represented by way of interest or discount. So where you are getting the interest from out of the fixed deposits from the nationalized bank. That services means fixed deposits or saving deposits in a bank of a financial institution. Return is received by way of interest. In that case, it is exempted from GST. It is given in entry number 27. So you need to remember those entries also. So it is also an exempted service. Now the other important one. Wherever if you see, you will definitely find this foreign diplomatic mission. So in the question, if you read, the professional services are provided to foreign diplomatic mission located in Trivandrum. So whether it is a taxable or exempted service. So I will move on to that. So you need to see entry number 59, services by a foreign diplomatic mission. If any services provided by foreign diplomatic mission located in India, then exempted service. In our question, the professional services provided to foreign diplomatic mission. You need to see the difference here. If the service is provided by foreign diplomatic missions, then it is considered as an exempted service. In our question, professional services provided to foreign diplomatic mission. So it is not an exempted. Who is giving that professional services? Mrs. PNR. They are giving that professional services to foreign diplomatic mission. So it is a taxable service. If the service is provided by foreign diplomatic mission, it is exempted, and if we are giving any service to foreign diplomatic, it is taxable. So this is one fourth one. Fifth one, the other interesting case in the exempted service. The receipts from running an educational institution, including receipts for providing residential dwelling services of 18,20,000 by the institution to the students. The educational institution is an institution as a defined notification 12/2017. So see this one, the receipts from running an educational, so the schools which are collecting fees from the students, so the total is 35 lakhs. Out of that, residential dwelling, meaning is what? It is like a boarding schools. So there the students stay in the institute itself, and they have to provide the accommodation, food for the students. That is, the receipts include the residential dwelling service also, which is 18,20,000. So if we take only the educational institutions, what comes as a layman? So only the fees will be exempted from GST. The boarding and lodging or the food provided, there definitely it will be taxable. So but what under which entry number we need to refer, where we can see those details? We'll see this one. So it is entry number 66, educational institution. So the services provided by an educational institution to its students, faculty and the staff, and the services by an educational institution by way of conduct of entrance examination against consideration. So these are entry number 66 means what are the services are there, and those services are exempted from GST. So now we are talking about the fees and the residential dwelling. So that means what? The boarding schools. Boarding schools means they provide service of education coupled with other services like providing dwelling units for residence and food. This may be a case of composite supply. So that's why our very basics is from the scope of supply. Here what we are saying, the school gives both education plus other services like they providing dwelling. That means it is a composite, because many schools what they are doing, both the that is international schools and all, both your payment will be including the education plus our boarding also. It is treated as a composite supply. So composite supply means what? Our predominant supply. So whatever the rule which is applicable for the education, the same rule will applicable for this when they are providing the dwelling units. That means the boarding and food, their residence and food. So if the education this is exempted, then your residence and food is also exempted. This may be a case of composite supply if the charges for education, lodging and boarding are inseparable. Their taxability will be determined in terms of principles laid down in section 2 subsection 30. So read with section 8, that is composite supply. Such services in case of boarding schools are naturally bundled and supplied in the ordinary course of business. The bundle of services will be treated as consisting entirely of the principal supply. That is the means the service which forms the predominant element of such a bundle. So here the predominant is service of education. The other service will not be considered for the purpose of determining the tax liability. So the entire consideration for the supply will be exempt. So where we are using that composite supply or supply, so that is very important. So you will get a good idea about now if you repeatedly seeing what is the composite supply, you will not forget the section also. In the scope of supply, the meaning of supply and all, it is defined in section 7. 8 is composite and mixed supply. 9 is levy and collection of tax. 10 is composition levy, that is persons registered under composition scheme. So you should not get mixed up with composite and mixed supply and the composition scheme. That scheme is different and the composite and mixed supplies are different here. So from this education related, now what we are concluding, it is an exempted service. Then the last one, supply value including cost of fuel for provision of renting of motor vehicles service to AGL Limited. So I am providing some rental basis. I gave my motor vehicle also. So this is also one of the service which I am doing, that is PNR, the proprietary concern they are doing, and the vehicle is used for carrying goods only. That means in our this exempted services, we can see it both passenger transportation and once again if it goes in slide mode, very difficult to change. So you can see here, So if we are doing any the renting of your vehicle related, you can see we have passenger transportation and goods transportation, services and all we have. So you need to study. If you take one particular services, just have a look, because the entry is in the sequence wise. So you take one particular topic and see, have a look on all those entry numbers. So you will not miss on any of the topics. Now what we are saying is the not passenger related. It is now they have clearly mentioned the goods are used for carrying the vehicle is used for carrying goods only. So we need to refer this goods transportation services. So now I will share my slide now. So it is services by way of giving on hire. So what they are giving on hire basis. So if it is to a state transport undertaking, so the motor vehicle carry the passengers. If it is only, you can see there is one more also, giving on hire to a local authority. The last one only, to a goods transport agency, a means of transportation of goods. So in our case it is not a GTA. They have just mentioned it is to one of the service AJL Limited. So what we are saying, it is not an exempted, it is a taxable service. So hence you should also see what is the GST rate we are considering, because here in the additional point, except for service of renting a vehicle for which CGST and SGST 2.5% each. So here 2.5% on 2 lakhs. So it is 5,000. So the GST liability of PNR is 10,850. So here the question may look big, and it is for 7 marks. So when you can refer some multiple questions also. Whatever question papers I have at my end, I'll also share. So only if you go through multiple questions and you can see what are the repeated exempted services related are there. So please have look on the educational, agricultural, charitable, these are a repeated one. So please study those exempted services. So now, so this is how we need to present in the exam for this question. So this is we are in third number. So now next question will move. So third question, so we have seen what is how we need to calculate the GST liability. Now into the next one, this is also for 7 marks, but how we need to calculate, and this if you see, it will not take hardly 15 minutes to answer also. But the thing is, daily we need to focus on the multiple problems, multiple question papers, then you will have a very good grip on these sections. So now we will see this problem also. Avni Limited filed GST return under section 39 for the month of Jan 24 on 11th April 24. So from this first point itself is what you need to file your GST return. The due date is 20th of February, but when they are filing the return on 11th April. So the details of tax assessed as payable. So how much is the tax liability and how much they have ITC, all those details are there. Now what is the question here? Assess the net tax payable in cash while filing the said return, as well as interest payable for the delayed remittance of tax. Another one is assuming the ITC is 2,50,000. So original, how much is our ITC? ITC available for utilization is 70,000. So first question we need to solve with 70,000. The second one we need to solve with using 2,50,000. And one additional point, if we want to pay by way of cash, so how we need to calculate? Here what is given for the said, compute the interest payable. Entire tax due for the said month was paid through ECL, electronic credit ledger, as per the provisions of Act. So now first one we are going to solve. How we need to mention computation of net tax payable in cash. So what is our output tax payable? So I always mention, if it is liability, I mention as negative balance. If it is your asset, then I mention it in the positive number. So here output tax payable is 1,80,000. So CGST, SGST 1,80,000. Then we have ITC available. How much is the ITC available? 70,000. So net tax payable is how much? 1,10,000. But we have reverse charge mechanism, RCM basis also we need to pay the GST liability. So add this 40,000 also. So how much is our final GST liability? That is how much we need to pay. So it is 1,50,000. Our question here is what? It is payable in cash. We are going to pay in cash, and our due date also you can see it is 20th, but we are clearing it on 11th of April. So 1,50,000 is our payable. Here I have the workings. Actual date is 20th, but we paid on 11th. So what is the delay? Number of days delay? 51 days delay is there. And so if we are making the payment delay, we need to pay along with interest. So always remember the interest for the delayed payment is 18%. So remember the interest for delayed payment is 18%. So on 1,50,000, 18% interest. So number of days delayed 51 days. So how much is the interest? 3,773. So along with 1,50,000 plus interest, we need to pay to the department. So this is the answer for the first one. So very simple. You need to remember is what is the interest percentage. Always it's like your GST percent only. the normal one which is 18 percentage. Then you need to see another thing here, it is given directly the due date. So if it is not given, so you need to remember the due date. So due date is, if it is February, for the month of February, 20th March. So same way for the month of January, 20th February, but actual it has happened on 11th only. You are clearing the filing the return and you are making the payment. So it is on the 11th April. So there is a delay of 51 days. Now next question here is, assuming the ITC balance 2,50,000. So how, instead of 70,000, if you apply 2,50,000, you have still excess input tax credit. That is one case. So now the second one is what? You still have, see, 2,50,000 is our ITC and 1,80,000 is the tax payable. So 2,50,000 minus 1,80,000, how much it will be? Approx 70,000, right? On 70,000 you have input tax credit still in your hand. And here additional thing is what? Tax payable under reverse charge. So tax payable under reverse charge 40,000 is there, but we are not eligible, or we should not use that ITC against adjusting our reverse charge. So how we are going to present? See this one, it is through electronic credit ledger. Like, so output tax payable is how much? 1,80,000. So we have ITC in that question 2,50,000. I still have 70,000 in as my input tax credit, but section says if it is reverse charge, you have to pay by way of cash and you should not adjust against your input tax credit. So what we need to do? We need to pay this 40,000 by way of cash. So 40,000 we need to calculate the interest. So the same, again the same only, 18% interest and 51 days delay, but on which amount? Only on this reverse charge 40,000. So on 40,000, 18% interest and 51 days delay. The other thing is what? But still you are eligible to claim, avail the input tax credit of reverse charge, but here you don't get confused. So if reverse charge means, remember, you need to pay, you should not adjust against your input tax credit. You need to pay it separately only to the department by way of cash. So how much it is? On 40,000, 18% interest and 51 days delay, so 1,006. So now how much you have to pay to the department? 40,000 plus 1,006. That is CGST, SGST. Yeah? So both you need to see. So the questions are very simple and easy. The thing is, we need to remember those due dates. If it is RCM, whether we are eligible to adjust against ITC or not. If it is service related, what are the exempted services? So here what mistakes we do it? Potato means agricultural produce only. So whatever services we are giving to the agricultural produce, it is an exempted services. But the additional thing which we need to remember is, if you are altering those original one, the potato to other ketchups or chips, then you will not call it as an agricultural produce. It is not exempted from GST. So these points remember. So other things I will see it tomorrow or Monday. So now we have to see on the not able to move my screen. Sure. Yes. We'll see this demands, few of this here in this this is from the chapter dispute resolution mechanism. There you will see some demands, assessments, and the small topics only. It is offences, penalties and all. Suppose if you collect the tax from your customer and you have not cleared, you have not paid to the government, so what will happen? So these things only we'll see it in this theoretical this thing. So we can here very important repeated one is section 73 and section 74. That demands, it is related to demands, we will see now. So the demands, when this question of demand arises, so the demand, the GST payable on the payable on self-assessment basis, and the assessee pays the tax on self-assessment correctly, then there will not be any problem. As a result, demand of tax from department does not arise. So when this arises, the demand under GST and the recovery provisions will be initiated if there is a failure to pay the tax in compliance with the GST laws. So here suppose at every month then I will be seeing my GST liability and how much ITC I have in my books, then accordingly I pay it. So suppose I missed something, any of the invoices considered in to be considered as my outward supply, but I have not considered it. So there the question of this demand arises. If there is any short payment or wrong utilization of ITC. Wrong utilization of ITC means what? So I provide food facilities like a canteen to my employees in my company. So the canteen on the contract, I get monthly the invoice from the canteen owner. So I take ITC from that invoice which I received from the canteen owner, the canteen head. So I am not eligible to avail the ITC, but I have wrongly considered in my ITC and I am utilizing it against my outward supplies. So these are the issues are there. In that case, what action the department takes, or what action if any notice if you received from the department, so what step we need to take it from our end. So if there is any short payment or wrong utilization of ITC, the GST authorities will initiate a demand and recovery provisions. The GST demand notice issued by proper officer for short payment or non-payment of GST. So if you remember, there are two questions which I have shared, like December or the June 24. The last question in our exam is, say I sold to my customer and I have not paid the GST which I actually have to pay. I supplied the goods, shared the correct documents, tax invoice to my customer. Now problem is I have not paid the GST to the department, and I have not shown my GSTR1 also. The department has to first give notice to me and ask, inquire me only, but instead of coming to me, they go directly to my customer and asked them to reverse the input tax credit. So these types of problems, or if these types of questions are asked, so from which chapter? This is coming from this particular topic, demand. So if you remember this, then you are very easy to answer the questions. So here the very important sections are section 73 and 74, the repeated one. Other things similar one only. So if you understand these two, the rest the other things very simple one, and we can able to answer. So section the demand notice issued by proper officer who is called adjudicating authority for short payment or non-payment of GST when there is no reason of fraud or willful misstatement or suppression of facts. There are two things. So the first one you are seeing is the section 73. The below one you are seeing is related to section 74. When there is no reason of fraud or willful misstatement or suppression. The other one is where there is a reason of fraud, willful misstatement or suppression of facts. So adjudicating authority means authority appointed or authorized to pass any order, but it does not include the below persons. So the demand and adjudication. So before we see what is this demand, adjudication, show cause notice, order. So first let me share you to understand what is that show cause notice and what is meant by order. So show cause notice means what? It is issued when tax authorities believe there is a shortfall in the tax payment or there is an issue with the compliance. So first they issue the show cause notice. It gives the taxpayer a chance to explain or justify why the alleged tax demand should not be imposed. So before passing order, order means it is the next level to the show cause notice. So if I tell you directly that the show cause notice received and the proper officer has given it and then order is issued, then you will not be able to see it, have a clarity on that. So first see what is the show cause notice. It is issued when the tax authorities believe there is a, that is before taking any big that is any action on me. First they give me the notice that you have not paid this amount and you have not filed your return, you have not paid along with interest though you have delayed the payment, you have not paid the interest. So these are the things with which they show cause to me, that is show cause notice. So it is issued when the authorities believe. So this is the first step which the department takes any action if they find any compliance issues on me. Then the second one is they passed after considering the taxpayer's response. So if I give once I receive notice from the department, if they ask me that you have not paid, you delayed the payment, but you have not cleared along with interest. So when I reply him, oh okay, by mistake not cleared the along with interest. Now today I say immediately what I am doing. Today 24th May itself I make the differential interest amount and I cleared that interest, and I reply to the department, yes, I cleared that interest amount today, this is the amount. So if I reply it properly, then I will not get any order from the department. They will close the matter. So see here, passed after considering the taxpayer's response. Order is after considering our response. Specifies the final tax liability, including applicable interest and penalties. If I after I receive the show cause notice, we will also see the number of days and all. Now I will explain you, like, so okay, you received the show cause notice, so I kept quiet. Okay, I received some notice from the department and I did not reply, I did not do any action. So what they do next? They will specify the final, they will issue the order, they will give me the final tax liability, how much interest or penalty I need to pay. So if the taxpayer agrees and pays promptly, penalties may be avoided in some cases. If they disagree, they can appeal against the order in higher forums. So this is the difference between the show cause notice and order. Show cause notice means what? Which you receive from the department at the initial level. So you need to action immediately once you receive it, so that you will not receive any order from the department. Suppose if you have not taken any action and if you disagree with some of the notices which you received from the department, then it will get to the appeal and tribunal level. You will receive the order, then next to the appeal tribunal. It goes like in this way. So now we are going to see about section 73. So what is section 73? Non-payment or short payment on account of reasons other than fraud, willful misstatement or suppression of facts. So what is the section number? Section number is 73. So issue of show cause notice, non-payment on account of reasons other than the proper officer issue a notice on the person chargeable, requiring him to show cause why he should not pay the amount specified in the notice. So the proper officer, before serving such show cause notice, he has to communicate the details, tax, interest and penalty to the person chargeable. So if they are going to issue me, they have to say, give me all those details. And the show cause notice specify the amount. See here, this is the interest. Even in the problem we have seen there, Interest means always remember it is 18% per annum we need to pay. So along with interest payable 18% and the penalty if anything is there. The notice should state grounds on which such a demand is raised. So if the department says there is a short payment is there and you have to pay 50,000. So without any background or any support from where the department has taken that 50,000, then it is very difficult. So whenever the department gives you the show cause, they have to give everything in detail. The notice should state the grounds on which a demand is raised so that the person whom the notice is served made aware on the basis of the demand. So what is the time limit to issue show cause notice? Okay, so we have our July 2017 this GST has come into effective. So 17-18 is already done, all written, everything is filed. Now today if department comes and tells me that in 2018 January you missed to clear this payment, is that after 10 years I have to go back and check? So that is not the correct way. If department is going to issue you the show cause notice, there is a time period is there. So if you have filed your return, from that period, within a period of 3 years, they have to issue the notice or the order for in the action to be taken. So here you can see what is the time. We are talking about only section 73. Section 73 is what? There is no willful, no reason of fraud and all. Maybe you missed by mistake or there is 2 days delay. So but delay you have not paid. No, there is no hiding of any frauds or anything misstatement, you have not done it. So 73 is very simple one only. The notice should be issued at least 3 months prior to the time limit specified for passing the order, determining the amount of tax, interest and a penalty payable. So you will be seeing here 3 different periods. Whatever you are seeing here, the same ditto only 74, but there will be a change in the time period. So this one if you see it properly, it will be easy. 74 is. What first one we are talking? The notice should be issued at least 3 months prior to the time limit specified for passing the order, determining amount of tax, interest, any penalty payable by the defaulter. So I have one simple example. We'll see it. Okay. This I missed, sorry. You can see for the show cause notice and the order. So show cause notice means the tax department suspects the business has a short paid 50,000 in GST due to an error. It sends the show cause notice asking them to clarify why this amount has not been recovered. So in order, what will happen if the business not respond properly or the explanation is unsatisfactory to the department, then the department issues an order. So immediately they will not go and issue the order, because order and all, it is what we can say is once if you receive, it's like a reputation of the company name. So it's in that level. We should not allow the department that's related to anything non-compliance related. So whenever you receive the show cause notice, immediately take a proper action. So here if you see, once you receive the notice and the business not respond properly and whatever explanation if we have given is unsatisfactory, then the department issues an order confirming the tax demand and instructing the payment. So now what point we are seeing here? The notice should be issued at least 3 months prior to the time limit. So I'll show with example. The notice should be issued at least 3 months prior to the time limit specified for passing the order. Show cause notice issued today 24th May. So immediately order when they have to issue. There is some time limits are there. So I will show, I am sharing this example. See, on 30th, it is for the financial year 2021. See, it is for the financial year 2021. And the department on 30th September 24, they are issued the show cause notice to this ABC traders. So what they have mentioned, that there was a short paid 50,000 in the financial year 2021 due to calculation error. For which period they are giving you? For the financial year 2021. So you can see there is a time limit for issuance of show cause notice is in non-fraud or non-suppression is 2 years and 9 months. So 2 years and 9 months means, so here in our case it is 2021 March. So the what is our time period? So it is 2 years 9 months. So say for example, for this financial year, when we are filing the return, I am taking for example, we are going to file the return on 31st of December 24. For example, I am saying, so for the financial year 2021, we file return on 31st December 2022. So what they are doing here is, they have verifying our documents and all our returns, and they have find there is a 50,000 short payment or the misstatement is there. So when I am receiving this show cause notice 30th of September 24. So on 30th September 24 is due to calculation error, and since this case does not involve, the department is required to issue this notice at least 3 months before the expiry of time limit for passing the order. So before the, what is our time limit for passing the order? That also three things you need to see here. Within 3 years from the due date of furnishing annual return for the financial year. So what in this example I am saying is, so for this 2021 is, say for example my annual return filing date is December 2021. So with if the GST department, if they want to assess my returns or anything, they have to issue the order before 31st December 2024. 3 years, my 3-year time period complete by 31st December 2024. So before that they have to give me the show cause notice, and the show cause notice is also, there should be a gap. The 3 months gap should be there once you receive the show cause notice, and after that when you are receiving the order. So again see this example clearly here. Your financial year is this, and the due date for annual, this is only for example. So the due date for annual return is December 21. The time limit for passing the order is December 24. So the last date you should have received, if any issues are there in your GST return, it should be 30th September 24. So this is the meaning for the 3 months, 3 years, 2 years and 9 months. So what does it mean? The time limit for issue the show cause notice is 2 years and 9 months. Meaning is what? That is last date should be September month. So after that you will get a gap of 3 months to issue the order. So it should be issued at least 3 months prior to the time limit specified for passing the order. Between the order and the notice there should be a time limit of 3 months. So see, because why I am explaining this again, the same only will get repeated for everything except a small change in the period and the years. So here if you see this one carefully, the rest will be very easy. So between the show cause notice and the order, the time limit should be at least 3 months. So as I said, I have our GST effective is 2017. So 2018 I filed, and December 2018 I filed my GST return also. Okay, and now 19, 20, 21, 22, more than 7-8 years is completed. So whether it is right I get show cause notice for the period 2018 today, it is not the correct way, because the department has to assess all our returns and has to issue if there is any compliance related within a period of 2-3, that is order is for 3 years. If it is show cause notice, it should be within a period of 2 years and 9 months. This is only in case of where there is no reason for fraud, misstatement or suppression of facts. So this should be clear. So whatever returns we are submitting, the department also should assess and see it carefully. So like after 10 years, they should not come back and tell me that you have made a mistake in 2017 or 2018. It is not an acceptable one. So there is a time limit is there, when the department has to issue you the show cause notice or when they have to issue the order. So before issuing the order, first you should have received the show cause notice. So that you need to remember here. So in this example, what you got it, the financial year 21 and the due date is December 21. That means your entire returns should have been assessed by the department before December 24. Suppose if they find any issues, that should have been, you should have received before September 24. So okay, you received some show cause notice on September 24. Now from the date of this notice, why the payment along with the applicable should not be recovered from you. If you choose to pay within 30 days, so okay, you agreed what is written in the show cause notice and you have taken the action within 30 days, then you will not get any order. Means your issues are closed now, because you have already taken proper action when you have received the show cause notice. So this is one, this is for the first case, 3 months prior. I think I kept the same example only. So in this example itself, you got idea, right? Like what is 3 months period, what is 2 years, 9 months period, and what is this 3 years. So what is 2 years and 9 months? That is show cause notice for any of the financial year you should have received from the department. If any issues is there, it should be received within a period of 2 years and 9 months. So if no action is taken, then you will get the order in the next 3 months. So the time limit between the order or the notice issued is, you issued a notice on September, means order should be a gap of 3 months period, at least 3 months prior to the time limit specified for passing the order. I think the same. So this there we have seen 2021 financial year. Here if you see, there is a small minor change, 21-22. So the due date of annual return is December 22, means when you should have received, if you should have received the show cause notice, when you should have received from the department, it should be before September 2025. So after you received the notice, if you have not taken any action, then you will receive the order from the department by December 2025. So why we are seeing this? So okay, tomorrow if you are starting any of your, suppose if you are starting your own firm, CMA firm, and if any of your client comes to you mentioning that they have received the show cause notice from the department, if it is mentioned as section 73 and the period of 3 years is already completed, then our first action should be the show cause notice should have been issued within a period of 3 years, that is 2 years and 9 months, but now the period is already completed. So this should be our first stage to assess. Then we can go in depth and we can take further actions. So payment of tax before issuance of show cause notice. The law provides an opportunity to the person chargeable with the tax pay the tax and the interest before issuance of notice. So suppose if you have come to know that there is a mistake has happened, then we can discuss and it needs to closed also. No notice shall be issued, no some consequences. Only you can pay along with the penalty and settle the issues. The person chargeable with the tax but not paid the tax or short paid, they can voluntarily come forward to pay the tax along with the interest before issue of show cause notice. So not required. Suppose if you are paying and you know whatever compliances we need to follow, we need not want to wait till our return get assessed by the department and they have to come back after 3 years. You need not want to wait. We can go direct voluntarily and we can clear it, either on the basis of his own ascertainment of such a tax or the tax communicated by the proper officer. He needs to inform the proper officer in writing of such payment. Then they will give the acknowledgement accepting the payment by the said person in prescribed form. So these are all again general one. So if you have come to know that mistake has happened, you have to go voluntarily accept the mistake, voluntarily go and make the payment and pay it. If any interest or penalty is there, pay it and close the compliance related. So he can issue show cause which voluntarily paid the tax along with interest. If proper officer is of the opinion amount voluntarily paid falls short amount actually payable. So if I am telling you that your payment is 40,000 plus other interest and penalty, it comes to 50,000. But still if you go and make payment only 40,000, then what action I will take as a GST compliance officer? Then I go and directly issue you the show cause notice. The same only here, then he can issue the show cause notice which falls short of the amount actually payable. Then payment of tax after issuance of show cause notice. So you are not aware of the error which has happened in the financial year 21, and after receiving the notice only you come to know there is some error has happened. That means within what period of time you received the notice, but within what period of time you need to take action? You need to take action within 30 days. Suppose if you want to avoid penalty. So see section 15, nil penalty within 30 days of issuance of show cause notice. So all the proceedings of said deemed to be concluded. When such person pays the tax demanded along with interest payable within 30 days, no penalty payable and all proceedings deemed to be concluded. So adjudication order, wherein show cause notice statement issued to a person, he may furnish a representation to the proper officer. If he is of the view he is not liable to pay whole or part of the amount in the show cause notice, the proper officer, after considering the representation made, if any, pass an order determining the amount of tax, interest, penalty due from such person. So but still you received the notice, but still we have not made any mistake, there is no error, no amount it's liable to pay also. In that scenario you can still and go for the adjudication order. Then you have to submit all your from our side we need to produce all the documents and they go for verification, and then they will conclude our case. If still anything is payable, so they will mention in the order nothing we are liable, then it will get completed. So if any issue is there, then again you need to see the penalty. So we are talking about interest. Interest we are sure that is 18% per annum. So penalty means what? What is the amount we need to pay? The quantum of penalty will remain same whether the tax amount along with interest is paid within 30 days of the communication of order or after 30 days. So the quantum of penalty will remain same. What is our penalty? 10% of tax or 10,000, whichever is higher. So the penalty will be 10% of tax or 10,000, whichever is higher. So what is the time limit for passing adjudication order? So here one example I have mentioned. So when this order has to be passed, suppose if the annual return is 22 and the return financial year is 21-22, the due date is 22 December for the return, the order must be passed by 31st December 2025. So the proper officer issue adjudication of order within 3 years from the due date of furnishing the annual return, which the tax not paid or wrongly availed. In case erroneously granted refunds, such order should be passed within 3 years from the date of erroneous refund. So it stipulates the annual return needs to be filed by 31st December of the next financial year. So this is related to section 73. So what we are seeing in section 73 is reasons other than fraud or misstatement. Section 74, if you see, what is section 74? On account of fraud or misstatement or suppression of facts. It is on account of fraud. So now only thing is you need to see the penalty and the time limit. So now it is section 74, right? So 74 means what is the time limit. So this table will give you the easy picture. Why I shared previously is before not knowing what is that show cause notice, order and everything, if we go through this directly, it will be difficult. So now you might have got some idea of our first level is you will receive the show cause notice. If not completed, then you will be receiving the order from the department. So that is the stage. So if there is a normal case, then it is 2 years and 9 months. So if it is fraudulent, both the table you see here, it is related to notice, this is related to order. Now for this fraudulent cases, it is 4 years and 6 months. So the notice period is 4 years and 6 months. So the issuance of order is within 5 years. So this you carefully see it, because this is the very important one. So any amount collected as a tax but not paid, so there is no time limit. So we will see, we have to see separately within 1 year from the date of issue of notice. What does this mean? Any amount collected as tax but not paid. Say for example, in my company I am manufacturing taxable goods as well as exempted goods. Okay, so for one product I charged GST 18%. Due to some system issue, for the exempted one also I raised my invoice with 18%, and where I raised 18%, I received the payment also from the customer. What I should have done? So in this May month, I raised one invoice with GST where it is a taxable goods. The other invoice also I raised with GST where I am not supposed to raise with GST. But by mistake I raised with GST, and I received the payment also from my customer. By June 20th, I should have made the payment to the department, right? So once I raised the invoice. But what I did, any amount collected as a tax but not paid, but I have not paid to the department. So there is a problem. So within 1 year from the date of issue of notice, then I need to take action. Non-payment of self-assessed tax. So no need to, for all actions, for whatever mistakes you are doing, it doesn't mean you will be receiving first show cause notice and then only order you will receive. It doesn't mean like that. It depends upon the action or the transaction happened at your end. Based on that, you will be receiving directly show cause notice or directly order. So what are the areas where you receive directly the order from the department? Those things only very interesting in this demands. We'll see this chart I will share with you. So if you are going through the theory area, so please focus where very important points are there. Here the time limit is there. So those time limits you pay attention. So as I said, section 73 and 74 are the repeated one. So it is not much also. You should know other than fraud means it will be section 73. If it is fraud cases means willful misstatement, willfully you are suppressing the facts. That means you are showing less GST liability. So in that case, that is called, that is in detail given in section 74. Everything is same except this time limit, penalty, these things are different here. So penalty, time limit are different in the fraud cases. 4 years, 6 months. Here 5 years. So the GST officer means who are category are there. So if you are in the GST, if not exceeding 10 lakhs, then it will be taken care by the superintendent of central tax. If it is above 10 lakhs and exceeding 1 and not exceeding 1 crore, then it goes to the deputy or the assistant commissioner of central tax. If it is above 1 crore, then it goes to the additional commissioner or joint commissioner of central tax. So like this limits are there. They may sometime ask in the MCQ type of questions, if the limit is, monetary limit is between 20 to 2 crore under IGST. So in that case, who is the officer who takes care of your assessment and return? So the deputy or the assistant commissioner of central tax. So this monetary limit you need to see. Okay, so I thought continuously we will be talking on the theory part. So in the middle we will see about the some practical problems. So I have one problem. Anand and Co. self-assessed its CGST liability 90,000 for the month of April but failed to make payment. So I calculated that I have to pay to the department, but I forgot to pay to the department. Subsequently, the department initiated penal proceedings, recovery of penalty and sorry, I think here we were facing some network issue. It got disconnected. Okay. So Anand deposited the tax along with interest on 25th August and informed the department. Department is contending he is liable to pay penalty 50% of 90,000. Examine the correctness. So it is section 73. So I will share this table. You can see here for normal cases and when that penalty is also applicable. 10% of the amount or 10,000. Yeah, here 50%. If you receive, if it is in the fraudulent cases only. So in our problem, what we are seeing here is the department is saying you have to pay 50%. So what we have to see whether it is 50 or 10%. So he has not paid the self-assessed tax within 30 days, that is 20th May. So the penalty is 10% or 10,000. Whichever is higher is payable by him, equivalent to penalty is payable. Hence the stand taken by the department will be levied on Anand is correct, but the amount of penalty of 45,000 is not correct. So you can penalty, he is eligible to pay the penalty. So why he has to pay the penalty? Because he has not paid, that is, if you receive the show cause notice, if you want to settle it, you have to clear within a period of 30 days time. If you are not done within a period of 30 days, then the penalty will apply. So what in this question they are saying is that department is contending he is liable to pay penalty. Yes, he is liable to pay penalty. But what is the amount he has to pay? It is 10% of the tax or 10,000, whichever is higher. And that is the tax amount, that is the penalty amount they have to, Anand has to pay. See, in this case, since in the given case Anand has not paid the self-assessed tax within 30 days of due date, that is 20th May, penalty equivalent to, that is 10% of tax or 10,000, whichever is higher is applicable. So department is saying that you have to pay penalty, that is correct, but the amount of penalty of 45,000 is incorrect. It will be like 9,000 or 10,000. 10,000 is the penalty amount. So we'll see again if I have some time tomorrow 9 o'clock we have for inter. So we'll be seeing this place of supply, ITC, or if I have some time, returns or e-way bill also. So if you are all available, you may also connect. I will share the link. Then in Monday or Tuesday, if you are available, please let me know. We will see this theory along with our previous year CA, CS or our CMA question papers revision, and we will connect. And I will stop till here and we will continue tomorrow for the inter. If you are available, please please, I will share the link. You may also please join. Yeah, thank you Anu, and thank you Rakesh. Today please have a look on this section 73, because continuously the show cause notice, order and the period we were seeing. So please see from our study material, you can see once again, and I will share this also. You can refer this material as well. So thank you Anu, and thank you Rakesh. Bye.